This is our next in this series as we're walking through the different dispensations. So we've come to dispensation number 4. We call this the dispensation of promise. So God chose to make a nation of Abraham through the unconditional blessing of messianic redemption to all nations. So this was a promise given to Abraham. If you read in Genesis 15, you find out that God basically ratified his promises to Abraham in an unconditional covenant. So the covenant required that God basically obligated himself unconditionally to make sure that Abraham would be the father of many nations, that the descendants of Israel would come through him, the messianic blessing would come through him to all nations, and that God would provide them land, which is the land of Canaan, eventually to be Israel. So this is the dispensation of promise. Those that believed the promise were saved. And then this is how God started a nation that would bring about the Messiah. The previous nations in the judgment of Babel in Genesis 11 ended up being infected with idolatry. So God needed to make another nation that he would then use to bring this blessing of the Messiah to the world. So Abraham believed this promise. Like I say, it was ratified into a covenant. And this was the condition of belief. So those who believe the promise like Abraham did, even to the present day, that have the faith of Abraham, the same type of faith, reveal their faith by that belief. So this dispensation ended really with the judgment of Egypt to redeem the Jews from under the hand of Pharaoh, and this would end the 4th dispensation. So in our next video, we'll walk through the 5th dispensation. May God richly bless you as you continue to study his word.